I am so glad that you asked because we're going to have a lot of fun today. Today in the kitchen, we are going to be using some Sipology products. We are going to be making some Tonia's Perfect Scones. We are also going to be using some Mango Lemon Sangria tea, steeping sacks, and we are going to be making scones with a fruit compote that's been infused with tea. So I'm excited. I hope you are too. Let's get to the kitchen and have some fun.
I am so excited about what we're going to be doing today. Now that you know what we're going to be making, I want to explain a little bit more about how we're going to do it and what we're going to use to do it with. So the first thing I want to talk about is our scone mix. So the founder for Sipology, Tonia, this is her favorite scone mix. She created it and it is amazing. I've made it before. So that is the mix that we're going to be using. Along with that, we are going to be using in our compote some beautiful strawberries. These were frozen strawberries. And then in the compote as well, we are going to be infusing some delicious tea. And I've decided that the tea today is going to be our new Mango Lemon Sangria. This is delicious. The nice thing about fruit teas is that you can steep them really for as long as you want because the flavor will just continue to come out and be beautiful. So in that tea are amazing fruits, not just mango, but you've got papaya, you've got apple, you have hibiscus, you have orange peel, you have lemon leaves, you've got lime leaves, you've got safflower. I mean, there's just so many amazing things that are in the tea. So all those wonderful flavors are going to then mix in with the strawberries, and it's going to be a magnificent addition to go along with the beautiful scones. So how are we going to steep this beautiful tea into our fruit compote? By using our wonderful steeping sacks. Steeping sacks work just like the idea of the tea bags that you might get in the store, but the nice thing about them is that you can put whatever tea you want in them. They are super easy to use, and in this case it's going to make it really nice for us to be able to put the tea in here, set it into our fruit compote, and let it just steep for as long as we want. We really want the tea to be stronger flavor so that it can really, really help flavor the compote. So we are going to be using a larger amount of tea than I would normally use. So let's get this out of here. And this tea is just beautiful. Okay. So let me get my just beautiful. It smells so good. Here, dry it off, and then we will be able to add this into our saucepan and take it out when we're ready. Okay, so now we are going to be making our scone mix, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the milk, or you can also use whipping cream if you prefer, but I'm using milk. And so I needed a half a cup of milk, and then I also need 2 eggs. One of the eggs needs to be separated, so I've got the egg whites right here, the egg yolk here, and then we need one more egg, total egg. So I'm going to put that in here. And then now I'm going to mix with the milk. now we could set this aside, and we are going to work on the scone mix itself. So we use the entire package of the scone mix. There's nothing else in here. It is literally just the scone mix itself. So I've already got the oven preheated at 400. And so then we are going to mix the butter into our dry ingredients here. We've got 4 tablespoons of butter, cold butter, and we are supposed to incorporate that into the flour now, or the, not just the flour, but the scone mix. This will look a little chunky. You're not meant to have this where it's going to be completely smooth with the butter. But when we do get it incorporated, we are then going to create a well that we are going to then add in our eggs. Now the leftover egg white is going to then be used to brush the scones before you put them into the oven. So, getting it pretty well incorporated here. Okay, now that we have that butter all incorporated into our scone mix, we're then going to create a little bit of a well here so that we can add our egg and milk mixture. Give it another little swish here. There we are. Now we're going to get this mixed in. And you want to be gentle with the mixing. This isn't something you're going to beat. You want to make sure that you're just mixing this gently. And like I said, it's not going to be completely smooth. This is going to end up being a very thick dough, like if you were making bread or biscuits, if you've ever made homemade biscuits. Something that I watched my mom and my grandma do a lot. So then we're going to get to the point where this spoon is not going to be very helpful, and I really need to go to my hands. So make sure, of course, that your hands have been washed beforehand. Stick the spoon over here. Kind of fun mixing it all and getting dirty. Mom and I used to make biscuits, homemade bread, things like that together. It was always fun. She had a special glass that she used to cut out her biscuits. She used the same one every single time, and her biscuits were always the perfect shape. And I've never had a biscuit that tasted better. She also made homemade noodles, which were just amazing. My grandmother made some wonderful stuff too. My mom's homemade bread was just out of this world. Out of this world. It is definitely one of those smells that reminds me of being a kid. It's an important memory of my childhood. So maybe this is something that you guys can do with your kids, your family, and make it a good memory for you to have with them. Now that we've got this pretty well incorporated, we are going to take about a tablespoon of flour, and we are going to roll this baby out, and then we're going to be cutting it into triangles, and then we're almost going to be ready to bake them. So let me get my hands washed. measure out the flour. Okay, perfect. We've gotten the dough completely incorporated. It looks wonderful. Of course, I've washed my hands. They're not so gooey anymore. And we now are going to set this aside. Going to put a wet towel over it. This is going to help keep the dough from drying out. We're going to set this aside while we work on our fruit compote. Okay, so now that we have the dough out of the way, what we need to focus on now is getting the tea steeped so that we can use it in our fruit compote. Now I've used 1 glass of water, and of course the tea that we already made, or already got in our tea bag, we're going to stick in there. We're going to cook this over medium heat. Now what we want is for that fruit flavor to come out of the tea and get really concentrated. So we want this to reduce down to about 1/2 cup of water. And then we will add it then to the fruit, and it's going to be amazing. So I'm going to stick this on the stove and cook it on medium heat. Okay, now that we have the tea steeping on our stove, what we need to do now is get these strawberries ready. So I've got these beautiful strawberries, and I need to chop them all up so that they can go into our compote. So let's just get them out here. I just love strawberries. Okay, let's get these cut up here. And I am not a chef, so the cutting I know is not perfect, but it's going to break down. The great thing about these strawberries is that it really doesn't matter how you cut them up, because they are going to break down anyway, so don't worry yourself about that. They don't have to be perfect. And the smaller the pieces, actually, the faster it'll break down, so the smaller that you get them, the better. You want some texture, so make sure you don't make them too small. You can see about the sizes that I've got here are going to work really well. Now these are just frozen strawberries that we got out of the frozen food section, so you don't have to have a strawberry patch outside or anything, and that way you can pull them out when you're ready to use them. So now I'm going to get these strawberries back in here, and we're going to be waiting for our tea to steep so that we can add this and start making our delicious compote. So let's squeeze out all the yummy goodness. Don't want to miss any. All right. Now we're going to add our strawberries. We need 2 tablespoons of sugar. And a splash of lemon juice. All right, let's get this all mixed up here. This smells so good. Okay, so now I'm going to put this on the stove on a medium to low heat. We want to break down the strawberries, let it infuse with that amazing tea, and we are going to have some delicious compote to put over our scones. it is time to get the dough rolled out so that we can make our amazing scones. It has been resting here while we were working on the compote. So let's get a little bit of flour out here, about a tablespoon ought to do it, out on your counter so that it's not going to stick. If you need more, get more. Okay. So now, let's get our dough out here. Okay, we have floured the counter. We got our dough ready to roll out. I've got the rolling pin here, but let's get a little flour on the rolling pin so that it will kind of help it from sticking to your dough as you roll it. Alrighty, I think we got that about the thickness that we need. You want it to be about, or maybe a little bit thinner, but you want it to be about a quarter to a half inch. Okay, so now that we have it rolled out to the thickness that we want, we're going to get out our pizza cutter so that we can cut these into the shapes that we want. Now normally you're going to be cutting this into triangles, so but don't worry yourself if you don't get it the exact shape that you want. They're still going to taste delicious. But the idea is that you're going to kind of cut it kind of like pizza. And if they're not all perfect, that is okay. Alright, so now you want to put this on an ungreased cookie sheet. I'm going to get a few started on this cookie sheet here. And then, before you stick them in the oven, you are going to use that leftover egg white that we used, or set aside anyway. And we are going to put a little bit of egg white wash on them so that they will get a beautiful color while they are cooking. Okay, so we are going to be using the egg white wash over it. But before we do that, we're going to brush off just a little bit of that excess flour that we had. Brush it with the egg wash. And the last thing that we do before we stick it in the oven is we are going to sprinkle it with just a little bit of sugar. Now look at me skip one. That's right. Sugar. Sprinkle over the top. If you don't want to do that, by all means don't do that. These are yours, so you can make them however you'd like. If you decide you'd like to add fruit to them, if you decide you'd like to add something else, by all means, make these your own. Okay, so we've got the sugar on them, we've got the egg wash on them. Now we're going to stick them in our 400-degree oven for about 15 minutes. I'm so excited to get them out here so that we can give them a try. Okay everybody, I am so excited. I believe the scones are done. I'm going to get ready to go and check them right now. Got butter out. I'm getting ready to bring over the fruit compote, and we are going to assemble everything and get to enjoy this wonderful dessert. All right, I'm going to go grab the scones and I will be right back. And they look perfect. Check them out. I'm so excited. All right, let's put this pan here, and we are going to go get the compote, and we're going to assemble. And this fruit compote looks amazing. It looks so delicious. You see how the strawberries have broken down, and now they're all mixed with that beautiful tea flavor. This is going to be delicious. And of course, as it cools, it's going to thicken a little bit more. All right. So let's pick a scone. And let's put a little butter. Doesn't that look amazing? It's gonna taste amazing. That is delicious. Of course the strawberries, but I can taste the mango, I can taste papaya, I can really taste the citrusy, the lemon, the orange. That is delicious. It is absolutely delicious. And I really hope that you decide to make this recipe for yourself, because it's a winner. You all have a wonderful day, and thanks so much for watching. Catch you next time. I want to just take a quick second to remind everybody of Sipology and the amazing products that I used today to make these scones and the compote. So again, Sipology's Tonia's Perfect Scone Mix was used for the delicious scones. The fruit tea, the Mango Lemon Sangria. We also used the steeping sacks when we were steeping the tea. And all of those things can be found at sipology.com/DynasTea. So DYNASTEA. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll catch you next time. And now, I don't know about you, but I'm going to take another bite. So good. So good. Catch you next time.